Another week, another trading cycles video. We're now in week 43 of the year 2023. Before we continue here, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification icon so you get notified when we upload next. And if you get any questions or have any recommendations to share with us, leave those in the comment section. Before we move on here, do keep in mind we do not provide financial advice here. All the content that we share is intended for educational purposes only, and always trade the price and not the prediction. My name is Eric, and I'm here as always with Urmas. How are you doing, Urmas?
Hi, Eric. Hi, all the listeners. Yes, we're not doing too bad, although markets are not doing so well as we have predicted last week. Yeah, so it didn't go up. It rather went down fairly sharply by the end of week. And one of the reasons why it started dropping, obviously, if you look at the news or what was happening, then obviously Fed Chair Powell did give a speech on Thursday. And markets obviously didn't like what he was saying there. Obviously, he did emphasize that the economy is still very strong, obviously, in US, and they're doing everything they can. He and his colleagues that obviously to get the inflation under control. Yeah. And now indeed the market is, or economy is quite strong, but at the moment the markets are obviously reflecting those worries that are starting to come to surface, and obviously not everything is as positive. So at some point, I think they will succeed. So something is going to give up, and some sectors have already been in quite bad situations. So obviously it can go worse. Now, important thing to bear in mind is that another rates decision is coming. Not this coming week, but week after, yeah, in the beginning of November. So we shall see what sort of decision Fed is going to make there. But I think by the signs here, by our models and everything else, it might be negative for markets, yeah. So obviously they're not always right, but this is the tendency that we are bearing in mind at the moment, yeah. Now, let's look what we said last week. So we did look at our seasonal prediction for a week, and that did indicate that the first half of the week might be positive and second half negative. And what really happened was that obviously until Tuesday it did held up, but then it started falling, and fairly sharply after Fed chair's speech there on Thursday. Now our statistical model did obviously indicate that Monday could be quite strong day, but the rest of the week was fairly negative, yeah, and that's how it went. Now the same picture was for Qs as well in play, yeah. And now 50-day moving average is still in that 30% zone there, 130%, yeah, and it did break up again and then fell even further down than it was a week ago, yeah. So obviously the market is not very strong at the moment. Now yield curve, we haven't touched that topic for quite some time, 2 months I think, and I last did check it on in August, end of August. Then it was a bit steeper. So now when we did look at it again, so it is starting to stabilize. So at the moment, 10 and 2-year rates are starting to equalize already. So obviously that's a sign that obviously bond market is going to stabilize, but it's not always good for the whole economy when it happens, yeah, when it starts to go back normal. Obviously at the moment the tail is still up, so we still have to wait until it's going to be like a normal curve to the downside. Now sector rotation is moving still in this weird order that we discussed last week. So energy sector is falling, communication sector is touching that green zone, leader zone, and the financials have been dropping even further. So although we have seen quite strong results for banks, bigger banks, and obviously the results are not too bad, but still the market is dragging that sector down as well at the moment. Now, fear and greed index was a week ago on 29 points, and now this week it fell to 26 points, so almost in extreme fear zone already. Astrological plays that we have here did indicate that the end of the week might be quite negative, as we had some negative aspects there on Saturday. So that held quite well, obviously. Now the new week tends to be a bit more positive, so I do expect that the second half of the week might be a bit stronger to the upside, but we shall wait and see. Obviously, we need to follow the price and see what the market is going to do. But I think on the 25th there is a Fed chair speech again. So it might be that Monday is going to be still negative, but maybe thereafter it's going to go a bit higher. There is another eclipse coming on Saturday, on 28th. So that's something to be aware of as well. That's the lunar eclipse this time. Seasonally, we are in strong seasonal cycle, obviously, but it's not always going to play out like that, as we have warned everyone that sometimes when the participants are expecting something, the market tends to be a bit irrational and act against you. So it's not always the case, but throughout the history, it's been quite good indication. Obviously, more than 80% of times, the market has been rising in the last quarter of the year, but not always, as you understand. So 1/5 of the time, it's not happening, and maybe this year we have to be a bit cautious. Yeah. Now our 60-year or decade cycle is also, it did indicate quite strong fall for the past week, and this week obviously it's showing a bit positivity there, yeah. Although the end of month is still negative. All right, so I wouldn't expect too much rally from the new week. Yeah? VIX index is still in the danger zone, so that makes us cautious as well. Now, our models are also indicating there are some other models in place, so this is also quite negative until the beginning of November and also the end of November, and it only gets more positive from December on. Yeah, so that's also not a good sign for the time being. Yeah. Now new week is gonna be well quite volatile, I would think. Yeah. So seasonally it hasn't been very strong trend still. So obviously it can go higher, it can go lower. Yeah, still the same tendency. Qs are showing a bit more positivity there. So technology sector might see a bit more positivity there in the next week. Our statistical model is indicating the same, basically. Yeah. So as you can see, there is green and red. So basically, they're switching places throughout the week. So yeah, nothing stable so far in that sense. Although we are in that very strong seasonal pattern, as you can see now from the next week it starts. So 12 out of 12 years it has seen rising prices from 23rd of October until basically year end. Yeah. So that is a positive sign, but obviously some things are making us a bit more cautious this time. So obviously, if we get technical indicators showing that the market is gonna show stronger signs, then we are willing to take some risk as well to the upside, but at the moment it's not there. And now macro view, yeah, we did see Eurozone inflation numbers coming up, and it was as predicted, so 4.5%. So, and then in a new week, yes, it is indeed in 25th when Powell speaks again. So let's wait and see what he has to say this time. Obviously, I wouldn't expect anything new, but we'll see. All right. Back to the graphs then, and what we can see this coming week, the next turning point is on Tuesday, the 24th. So yeah, that might show some new trends there, maybe at least in a short term, yeah. And gold market has been very strong now, yeah, as we did indicate. It is in upside market now, and we did reach our turning point on Friday now, on 20th. So the next one is coming up on Wednesday, the 25th, and thereafter is going to be Tuesday, the 31st, yeah. So obviously we might see some slight decline there, but obviously the tendency to go higher is still there for gold market. Same goes for Bitcoin, obviously, yeah. So Bitcoin has been in this upside pressure since beginning of October, yeah. We did see some decline, but last week on Monday it did reach that 30,000 mark as we predicted. It did give up some, but by Friday it did go even higher, yeah. So it is now staying on the 30,000 mark, and it can still go higher from here. Okay. And if you look at the yield curve now from another view, so we can see that it's starting to stabilize and obviously reaching to that zero zone quite soon, yeah. So it's gonna go from negative to positive, yeah, soon after. So that the 2-year yield is with a lower interest than 10-year yields, yeah. All right. So VIX index did show some more fear or volatility on the market, yeah, as we have predicted, and it can go even higher at some point. So we're not out of danger zone. What else? And junk bonds are still also in very negative territory. So there is no risk appetite at the moment on the markets. So until it comes back, that's also a negative sign so far here. And what else? Out of those stocks that we had under our radar, the last one in play at the moment was APH, and that is almost reaching now its target here. So we're not almost there, but still quite soon, I hope, yeah. So that should be then closed, and possibly next week we will try to find some other plays as well to follow here. But at the moment we are keeping very short positions to the short side as well. All right. So it's not really worth bringing them up here, but the play is to the downside so far. Now new week might bring some changes there, so obviously with the caution. So yeah, that's about it, I think. Let's wait and see what the new week is gonna bring, and act accordingly then.
Exactly. All right. Thank you very much, Romas, as always, and thank you for watching and listening. If you haven't already, as mentioned in the beginning of the video, hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell notification icon so you get notified when we upload next. If you like the video, you know what to do. Click the like button And if you had any questions, if anything came up, if there's any recommendations or anything you would like to discuss, leave those in the comment section down below, and we will definitely have a look and try and respond or put it in a video. But yeah, that's it from me. Share the video with your grandma, and I shall see you next week. Bye bye.
Have a fantastic week. All the best. Bye bye.